Good morning, everyone. Let me see if I can change my filter here. Oh, that looks too orange. We'll go back. Hey, everyone. Good morning. So today I want to talk about the importance of a great description, and I have a big announcement. Before we get started, as everybody's rolling on in, and as you're rolling on in, go ahead and say hey down below. I just want to apologize because the past couple of days I've been absent, right? You may or may not have noticed that. I have been stuck behind my desk as early as the morning and taking a short lunch, which happens once in a while, and do it often, to work my butt off on this big project that I'm doing. And if you've been following me for a while, you probably know what that is, okay? Again, if you're joining, go ahead and say hey down below so I know you're here. So again, I appreciate you being patient with me. I hate to miss Facebook Lives. I love chatting with you guys. I love giving you some really great knowledge. And yesterday I was unfortunately unable to make it. I literally had to go directly into, recording. I was recording the updates to the description webinar, and I had to start that early because my husband needs me by his side. We don't have my assistant with me, and I have to check his work. I have to do quality control, and that takes a lot of effort and time, and I can't be recording while doing that. So I had to start while he was still out of the house. Hey, good morning, everyone. I decided to do the Facebook Live down here. I just felt like it. The second I go upstairs, there's going to be a lot of work waiting for me. And, that's fine. I'm doing a lot of things right now. And I didn't want to walk upstairs yet, Hey. So, good morning. Good morning. Let me see if my tea is ready to drink yet. Yeah, it's all right. All right. So, again, thank you so much for your patience for the past couple of days. If you've been tagging me in things or whatever, and I've not been responding, is because I've been crazy busy and behind the desk, chained to it, okay? And I'm still going to be slightly like that for the next couple of days. I really need to finish some major things up, and it's all really for you guys. So let me start with the big announcement first, because it has to do with today's topic. A lot of people know, and if you're new around here, just hang tight. But I released a description webinar last year. It is now going through its updates. The updates have already been done. Everything has been recorded. I'm literally now setting it up on the website and getting all that stuff done. However, what's really exciting this time around is that it's being set up on a new website, a place where if you purchase, after you purchase, you instantly can get access to it, and you would sign up with your email and your own password, and anytime you buy a course from me, it'll all be in one spot, which is really, really exciting. Okay, so it'll be easy to access, much more professional, much better laid out. It's an actual course system, right? But very, very easy. Okay, good morning. So I'm very excited to announce that the launch of the description webinar, the updated description webinar, is coming on Monday, okay, this Monday. So the next few days I'm going to be talking about descriptions, the importance of it, including what it includes, the bonus, which I'm very excited about, etc. But I really want to drop some knowledge on you because regardless if you're interested in the description webinar or not, you have to understand the importance of a great description, okay? And believe it or not, whether you think you know the importance of it, I still want to share it with you because I've done thousands of shop critiques, and more often than not, I see not so great descriptions. So do people really understand the importance? I'm going to have to say no. Or they don't have the time to change it. So in that case, I'm thinking still no, they don't understand the importance of it. Yeah, I'm very excited. A lot of people have purchased a subscription webinar, and if you purchased it, you get, of course, the upgrades to it as well. So that's not an issue. If you have already purchased it throughout next week, right, I'll give you instructions on how to get access to it, okay, because it's going to be on a new platform, not a big deal. But if you're about to purchase it soon, you will be getting access to the new system immediately, which is very, very exciting, okay? So let's talk about the importance of a great description, right? For the most part, a lot of us are only online sellers, right? We sell online. I don't think most of us have a brick and mortar store, and the online description serves a really great purpose, right? Because the customer can't touch or feel your product. They can't see it. They can't interact with it, You'll get the upgrades. Don't you worry. When you get signed on to the new platform, okay, it's a way that I do it, but I will give you access to the upgrades for people that have purchased it previously and people that will be purchasing it during this launch. And I'll explain to you in a second, okay? So that's one of the importance of a great description. People can't see, touch, or whatever your product, right? So the description is the only thing they can really rely on, that and the photos, okay? So in the description, not only do you have to really describe your product, okay? You can't just say, this crocheted blanket in pink, blah, blah, blah. You can't just say that. And here's why you can't just lay out the features of it. Well, first of all, some people don't even do that correctly. But more importantly, you have to entice the buyer, right? And I don't want to hear the bull crap. Listen to me. I don't want to hear the bull crap that people don't read descriptions. I'll tell you something. The reason why you think that is because once in a while you get a customer that goes, oh, I thought I was going to get this. And you're like, oh, read the description. Oh, they must not read the description. Oh, that means nobody must read the description. And then somehow it snowballs into nobody reads the description because you have this couple instances of people don't read the description and you're upset. And of course, when you're upset, you're more inclined to be, obviously more upset about it. But when somebody reads the description, you don't even know it because they're happy with their purchase and they went on their merry way. But when you're upset about it, then you start to really feel it. And that's why you feel that people are not reading descriptions. How many times have you had a good purchase go through and no complaints compared to a bad one? Well, first of all, if you're having a lot of bad ones, that's an issue. Okay, that's an issue. Darcy, there's some people that won't read the description. I understand that, but I think more often than not, people do. However, what I always tend to find that is when I look at descriptions, I'm like, no wonder people are not reading it. It's literally, the format of it is like paragraphs and paragraphs, and it's insane. It's too much going on there. Sometimes when I do shop critiques, I tell the person in the shop critique, I don't even want to read your description, and you're the one that paid me to do it, And a lot of times formatting is an issue, but I like to start out with the actual description itself. You have to entice the buyer. You have to connect with them, okay, so they feel like it's the right product for them, okay? How many of us can say we actually do that successfully? Okay, and if you do, go ahead and say, yep, I have a great written description. I mean, of course, if you have a description webinar, that doesn't count because then, of course, that helped you. But I have a great written description. I actually connect with my buyer as to their needs, and I get in touch with that, and that's what makes them feel like it's right for them, Hold on. Marcy says, I want to know exactly what I'm buying. Never understood people making a purchase decision based solely on photos. Marcy, I think people do tend to skim. We've seen it before in regards to people that made purchases that didn't quite read the description. We've seen it in Facebook groups. So I know it does happen. But how many more other transactions have people purchased and were happy with their purchase? So we know that they read it, but there are some people that don't. However, I feel like, there's some things I teach in the description webinar, such as formatting and things like that, that help with that. People are on the go. People are shopping on their mobile phone. So it can be difficult, Can I say that I have ever purchased something without reading the description? I don't know. I have never noticed. I've always been happy with my purchase in particular, but sometimes there's so much information. Like when I buy a new printer, I might miss something depending on the formatting. So if I buy it off of eBay or Amazon, it's a little different than other selling platforms, and I might miss something. I never had a huge problem. I never had to return something or was upset. But I can imagine because I'm so particular about the big purchase that I'm making, I'm hunting for information. Don't make your customers hunt for information, okay? You have to, of course, entice them. On top of that, you have to also write it very clearly, well formatted, so it's easy to skim and they're easy to find information that they need to find, okay? Rose, thank you for stepping out, right? You're like, I'm guilty of not reading descriptions sometimes. I just skim the description for things like size, etc. I know that happens, And in my description webinar, I go over that. I'm not oblivious to the fact that it still does happen. I'm not oblivious to the fact that we are on the go society. People are shopping on their mobile phones, okay? That's another important part of a great description, okay? So Tanya says, every once in a while, not often, I thought this was a physical item. And in the first line of my description says, this is a digital item in all caps. Yes, Tanya. So you write it in the first part. You write it probably in the middle of the description. You put it in your title, etc. Right? Now, I ask you, Tanya, and you could probably be doing all this because there's always somebody going to get away from this. But do you put it in your photo? Do you put it clearly in your photo? Do you put it in your title, and do you put it in your description? I go over all this in my description webinar, but even if Tanya says, yes, I do, I'm not sure if you do, Tanya, there's still some people that are going to still get the item and think it was a physical item. We know that's going to happen, right? Because they just don't want to read it or don't want to look. And they're like, ooh, because it might be only several dollars or whatever, Darcy says, I admit I like to read a get-to-the-point description versus a long-winded fluff. Yes, I do agree. I do think that sometimes for certain items it's important to have a full description of what it is, but format it correctly, right? Like Darcy said, don't put fluff in there. You could put fluff, especially if it's really important fluff, but format it correctly so it doesn't appear that way. You could easily skim through it with your eyes, Hey there. Agree, descriptions need to be informative and brief. Yes, So obviously you guys understand the importance of a great description, right? Because you've seen it for yourself. You know what people have trouble with, okay? And in my description webinar, I go through all this. The biggest thing which I know people struggle with is actually putting a well-constructed paragraph together that describes their product and really entices a buyer. It connects with the needs, right, of the buyer. It really highlights the benefits. And you're like, I don't know what my benefits are. I haven't even thought of it. I don't know what my customers' needs are. Don't you worry. I have literally walked you step by step through this process. It is almost foolproof. Okay, people that have my subscription webinar at the current moment know what I'm talking about. I have upgraded it so it's much easier to follow, and it's more clear, better worksheets, etc. But I made it stupid easy, and that's what every time I make a webinar, that's what I shoot for, and FYI, just for the record, if you're like, yeah, that's interesting, I want to get the webinar, if you haven't got it already, it's not for sale yet, okay? It'll be launched on Monday for a limited time, legit, like a limited time. And you can buy the description webinar anytime after Monday, but there's going to be a limited time offer to get literally a free course, completely free course. And that is my course for conversions. Okay, conversions are a very, really important topic. I'll get to it in just a second. But literally, you're going to have a whole entire training course on conversions. I'll tell you what that includes in a second if you didn't catch my other Facebook Live. But so it's almost like a bonus offer that you will only get if you get within 3 days. After that, the conversions course is not available. Okay? Not available. You can't even purchase it alone. All right? So let's get back to descriptions. Becca says, I was looking at something that had a weird scent name, like mint fire. Oh, interesting. What does that even mean? There were no ingredients listed. I had no clue what the actual scents were. Great point, Becca. Now, people that are listening right now saying, wait a minute, I'm not like that seller. I at least list the ingredients, or I at least list blah, blah, blah. While you may list some things, how do you know you're not missing something? I literally go in my description webinar and go through all the pieces you must list, even if you're in a different market than me. Absolutely. Okay? And while you may think what Becca said is obvious, because you're like, well, duh, I have to list the ingredients. How come that seller didn't? And I'll be honest with you, how come many sellers don't? They just don't, okay? And I've seen it firsthand, guys. I have critiqued thousands of shops. All right, let me lower my volume a second. Okay. So, I like stupid easy. Yeah, it really is, Okay. Oh, I thought descriptions was free. What do you mean descriptions were free, Amber? What description? I'm confused. Can you elaborate? Amy says, I sell dog collars, so my descriptions are pretty much repetitive. It can be. It's important to know what to include in there. It's important if you only sell dog collars, yeah, it'll be very similar, which by the way is really good. Some people worry about all the hard work you can do when you do a description webinar. Not quite. It's important to understand that, how do I say this? when you work on the description webinar, while it may seem overwhelming because you're like, I have to start from fresh. If you sell like a category of products, like she sells dog collars, yeah, it's going to be similar. So you're not doing hard work over and over and over again. I give you an easy to follow formula, which is awesome. And you don't have to keep redoing everything I'm teaching you, which is awesome because you have similar items. So for every category of items you have, it'll be easy. Okay. So no, the description webinar is not free. You have to pay for it. What is free is when I launch it on Monday for a limited time, you will get a free course with it. Okay. So I'm not sure if I understood, exactly what we meant, but yeah, description webinar is not free. So Teresa says, I've seen really some bad ones where they just put the title of the item. I know that there's some people that have really, really bad ones, literally one sentence. Okay, if you're one of those people, if you have a few sentences, I will tell you right now, if you're here watching me, and I'm not trying to push you, right? But if you're here watching me kind of improve your description, why not invest in yourself? Why not invest in the description webinar to help you get to where you need to be? If you for a second think descriptions are not important to help you make a sale, you're absolutely wrong. You're absolutely wrong. I go much deeper into it besides just descriptions and things like that, okay? There's a lot more to it that I go into. Trina says, I want the conversions. I just bought it, waiting for the update. Yes, so if you bought it before, you will automatically get the free course, right, which is the conversions course. Okay, it has several videos. I'm thinking it has 10 to 12 videos. It's a full training course, the free course, the conversions, okay? So you will get it if you purchased it previously. However, when it launches on Monday, this coming Monday, you will only have a few days, I'll tell you how many days in a moment, to get the description webinar with the free bonus, okay? The webinar is priced just for the webinar, but then I'm giving the free one away. So after the free, those few days stop, you can still get the description webinar, but without the bonuses, which is absolutely fine. It's absolutely worth the price. But I would love to give the free bonus away. It's fantastic, the conversion webinar. Okay, and you cannot buy it separately at the moment. So, Kimberly says, did I miss the announcement? Yes, the announcement is the description webinar has been updated. If you have not purchased it, then you have the opportunity to purchase it on Monday. If you're not interested, that's fine. If you purchased it before, you will receive upgrades throughout the week. Okay? And Amber, I think you're thinking about the target market webinar. Actually, the target market webinar is not free either. The free webinars I do have are branding, okay, and pricing. Okay, those are the free webinars I have. Let me just take a sip of my tea. Like my knitting descriptions is pretty standard verbiage. I'm not sure what you're referring to, Darcy, but again, it's not just simply stating what you're selling. I laid it out. They know exactly what they're getting. It's also putting a well-written description together that uses your keywords, which I go over, that entices the buyer with the benefits. Like I go over all that, and it's really step by step. I made it really easy. Yeah, there's only 2 free ones, Erica. It is the branding webinar and the pricing webinar. Everything else is paid for. Target market one was pulled back when I first launched it. I've gotten some feedback here and there from it. I just want to, before I launch it again, I want to get some more feedback from it. I know people are very busy. I know people have done it already. It just depends, And I will wait. I will wait till Monday to say my other surprise. Okay. So I won't say it now, but one of the biggest announcements is that it's being relaunched on Monday. For a limited time, you could get the free course with it, okay, if you purchase it. Amy says, so would it be a good investment for me being my descriptions are pretty much the same? It depends. It doesn't matter if you use this description webinar and then all your descriptions are the same. It really depends because I don't care if it's the same. I care if that one description is really good, right? What if you had the same descriptions over and over again and the issue becomes, but it sucks, right? Let's just say it's not a great description. Then of course it's worth it because even if you use a description webinar for, like Amy, she sells the same thing, right? And her description will probably be very similar. Maybe some changes because the style is different. But the information you learn is beyond me, because besides knowing how to write a well-written description, it will carry you throughout your business life, because you know now how to describe your products, not on this platform and on other platforms. You understand the benefits of your product, which is really important for a lot of things. Of course, the features, I walk you through it. And there's a few other things I go within the description, not just say, hey, it's a well-written description, but I teach a few things that help keep the buyer in your shop, increase your average sale, etc. And then, of course, for the free course alone, I mean, the conversions webinar, that is worth it, because that you could use consistently throughout your online selling career, you know? So, will we have access to the conversion after the free period if we purchase during that time? Oh no, you'll always have access to it, Carrie. Carrie, great question. Let's say you buy it Monday, or if you bought it, right? And you have access to the free conversion webinar. Okay, it's literally a full free training. You'll have access to it permanently. It is yours to keep forever if you buy the webinar, if you bought it already, or buy it during this limited time coming up soon. Okay? So you'll have free access to it permanently. It'll be there for you when you sign on. Okay? Joyce says, oh, I mean, not too much fluff description while explaining what the knitwear is. You know, I understand what you're saying. I just want to make sure that what you actually have in there is really good. And there was a handful of people I've seen that actually had decent descriptions, but more often than not, I see people that need help with it. And that's what I'm targeting, you know, that's what I want to help people with. You know, the reason why I created this webinar, the description webinar, was because I know people struggle with actually putting a really great description together that describes the product to the customer and really entices them. People had a hard time putting their words together. And I said, it has to be an easier way. There were people that were hiring out, which is fine if you have the money. But as you add new products, you're going to keep hiring out. That's ridiculous, right? Sorry. So I created this webinar to help people like that are not slick with their words, that are not really good with their words. And I really break it down for you. And then I give you this formula that you literally just plug it in, and that is it. You have a well-written description. And then I go over many other things that are in the description that you need to include. So description webinar has now broken into, because it's much easier to follow, I think it's like 10 videos, and then I have a bonus in there. And then, of course, during this limited time, you get the free conversion webinar, okay? Tanya says, a lot of places offer writing your descriptions for you, but I can't. I know that they know what they're doing. Oh, I can't know that they know what they're doing. It could be all crap. Yes, it can be, you know, and sometimes it's not. Sometimes you're getting a really great deal, right? Or you're getting really just great description. But here's what I focus on a great description. I want to make sure that the first paragraph is Google friendly, which I go over, right, slightly, because I'm putting in keywords in that description. And Google indexes that first part of your description. So this is awesome. I make sure that it entices the buyer, because at the end of the day, it's not just about, oh, I have everything I need to in there. Remember, humans are reading this, so you need to understand that you have to convince the buyer, and I go over that. That's number one. Number two, I also lay out what else you have to include in the description in order to convert the buyer, right? To convert the person into a buyer. That's really important. I talk about formatting. I talk about other things in the description that help keep people in your shop and keep them shopping, which is awesome, right? I break that all down for you. And it might be, oh, my bad. I think it is. My bad. My hand was on the mic. So I break it all down for you and include everything you probably need to include in the description, even no matter what business you're in, okay? It's as simple as that. And again, the price alone is fantastic. That's great because I've upgraded it. It's much better laid out, etc. But for this limited time, you get this free conversion webinar. And I'll go over it slightly in a second, but I needed to create this because I don't do one-on-one coaching anymore. And people struggle with the fact with certain things, like how come people are not buying, right? And you know, whatever. And I created this because I want to help people, but without me helping each person, because it takes a lot of my time. So this webinar helps you troubleshoot it yourself. Okay. So in the free conversion webinar that you will get if you purchase during this time, or if you purchased before, it will first talk to you about how to tell what your conversions are for your whole shop and for each of your listings, okay? Which is really important because you need to know what they are before you determine if they suck or not. You can't just, sometimes we have a gut feeling that our conversion sucks because you're like, I got a whole bunch of views in the last 5 days and I made no money. Yeah, that's obvious, right? But you have to know exactly what it is, because then after you know exactly what it is, you know you have to improve it, and then you know to track it. Because if you know it sucks today, let's say 0.5%, and you work on the things I tell you to work on, then let's just say 3 months from now you track it again and say, aha, it's improved. You have to know where you stand before you know if it's improving or not, right? Because then you do the math and you say, okay, it's at 2% now or whatever. And you know it's improved. So I go over what your conversions are for your shop and for your listings. I include a tracking sheet so you could track it. It's a really fantastic tracking sheet. Then I go over what you have to do to actually improve your conversion. So those are broken up in several videos. Okay? So that's that. Of course, a lot of the work's on you. I just tell you what to do, right? How to do it, etc. So I included some really great bonus sheets in there for that. So of course, one of them is being photos, because a lot of times photos have a lot to do with conversion. So I actually included a bonus sheet that really target the many problems with photos and what to do about it. So lighting, so composition, branding, whatever it is. I go over each one of those and I tell you exactly what to do to improve it. Okay. And of course, again, the work is on you. After I tell you what to do, you have to actually do the work. But I broke it down for you in a worksheet. And again, there's other things in this that I have included worksheets for. And I only included worksheets when I needed to. I'm not trying to push up worksheets just so it could feel like you're getting a huge value. You know I'm not about that. Anytime I included a worksheet in here, it's because it's absolutely necessary in order for you to keep track or do the work, so then you could see the results from it. Okay. So after I have the part of the webinar, the conversion webinar that tells you what to do to improve it. Okay. I also talk, another part of the webinar is, if you experience changed, okay, if you experience any change. So if sales have slowed down tremendously over the past, let's say, so today's October. So since last October, I saw somebody actually that posted that yesterday. Last October, they had like 44 sales. This October, they have 88. They're like, what the hell's going on, right? This will be a perfect thing for that person. Or anybody that experiences some slowness, right? They're like, what's wrong? This webinar, this part of the training will help you figure out what's wrong. Help you isolate what the problem is, okay? What to do about it and how to do it. How freaking fantastic is that? It's almost literally getting me as a one-on-one coaching, but for much cheaper, like for less of a price, right? Okay? So I put it into a video to make it easy, and you can always refer back to it, etc. So let me just take another sip of my tea. Hold on. Amy says conversion is a new term for her. It may be a new term for you, but the idea is absolutely not, right? We know that when you get views, you need to convert them into sales. The reason why I'm giving this conversion webinar away for free during this limited time only is because we do descriptions because we want to convert buyers, right? We want to convert them into people that give us their money. So that's why we create great description. It has to do a lot with conversion. It has to do a lot with getting the person to buy. And that's why I included the conversion webinar. We want to make sure it's all working. We want to make sure that it's getting to where we want to get to. Okay. So that's really, really important. Okay. So if you have already purchased, just FYI, which I know is a huge group of people. If you've already purchased a subscription webinar and you're like, got it, Dahlia, I already love it. Just need to work, get the upgrades and all that stuff. Here's the thing. When it rolls out on Monday, more people are going to be buying it. They'll get instant access to the new platform, which it will stand on. Okay. I'll be sending out instructions, okay, to the people that have already purchased what to do to get access to the new platform. So just hang tight. That's it. Simple as that. Okay. Just hang tight, because you'll get an announcement. You'll probably receive an email from me of what to do to sign onto the new platform. Okay. You'll be able to create your own username and password. Your username will probably be your email. And anytime you buy a course from me, all the courses will be in that one location. Okay. I really step things up for you guys just to make it easier based on what you've told me. Okay. So you might not get the access to it Monday, maybe Tuesday or Wednesday, depending on how quickly you respond to the emails, etc. So that's that. Anyway, I'm really, really excited about this because for those of you who don't have the description webinar and are interested in getting it, I highly recommend it. Just for that alone, the description webinar is really fantastic. But it's with the free conversion webinar coming, it'll blow your mind, especially if you are at that part of business where it's important to you to understand what your conversions are, what you've done to improve them, what you've done to change them, why is it bad, why is it good? I want to improve some of my bad listings. What do I do? Etc. So that's going to be really exciting. Okay, that's going to be super exciting. I'm really excited to give this conversion webinar away. I thought about what training could I create that would give away for free. I love doing that, So I thought conversion would be perfect for that. Erica says, will previous purchased webinars eventually migrate over to all be in that new platform for us? Yes, eventually. I'm working on many, many different things. It's very hard to keep up. So hard without my assistant. I literally, after this, guys, I have to go send proofs, talk to customers. I love it, but it's a lot. But eventually they will all migrate over. And then eventually they will be upgraded. Okay? All the webinars. And just for the record, when you buy a description webinar, when you buy things like this, anytime I upgrade it or add bonuses to it, you will get access to it. Okay? So if you buy it today, or not today, Monday, and I upgrade it in another 6 months or a year, because the internet changes, whatever, e-commerce changes, you will get automatic upgrades. It'll just be there for you when it launches again. You know what I'm saying? Which is really, really exciting. Okay? Really, really exciting. So, hold on. In any of my courses, recently, the description webinar is not for sale anymore until Monday. Recently, there's been a huge spike of people getting the SEO webinar, which is really exciting, really good. Same goes for them. That's really important to get free updates, lifetime access to the course. Because if something does change in SEO, you need to not pay again just to get access to it. I think it's fine, but it's not what I'm about. I'd rather you just pay once. How awesome is that? Okay. Angela, I love the description webinar before. I can't wait to see the revamp. Yes. And I know a lot of people loved it. I know that. They've told me. If you loved it before, you're absolutely going to love it because while the content is almost similar, right? The upgrade. However, it's clarified much better. It's broken down much better, so it's easier to follow. There's a couple more worksheets to help you based on the feedback I got or what people were confused about. I fixed those. And of course, the branding is on point, so that's really great. And then, of course, you get the free bonus training. I'm excited about the description webinar, but I'm very excited to see what you guys think about the bonus training. It's a really great training just to help you convert better. It works on your conversions, all about conversion. That's what I called it. All right. So anyway, guys, I just want to share with you, I'm very excited about this announcement. Monday, you could purchase a subscription webinar if you have not already. Okay. And it will be only for 3 days where you could purchase it and then get the free bonus training. Okay. After those 3 days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, after that, so on Thursday morning, if you purchase it, okay, you will not get the free bonus training. Okay. And again, that's, I think, absolutely fine because the description webinar is worth the price alone. We all know that. But if you're going to get it, why not get it during the time we get this free awesome training, which, by the way, I don't sell separately. Okay. I always love bonus videos too. I absolutely do, right? Get something for free, which is awesome. Carrie asks, have you told us the new price yet? I have not. Would you like to know? I'm sure you would, right? Hold on a second. Marcy, the SEO webinar changed our lives. It certainly has. It certainly has. I hear a lot of people that talk to me about the SEO webinar. And here's the thing. SEO is very different from description in many different ways. SEO sometimes can show you results quickly, right? Because of what it does. It helps bring your listings to the top of search. You get more views, etc. If you have awesome listings, then people buy. Description is very different, right? Sometimes it's silent when you know it's working or not. A lot of times people know it's working. You know that your description looks much more professional, but the conversion webinar freebie is supposed to help you determine how it's working for you. So that's really good. So eventually I think while people do love the description webinar, they're going to love it even more because of this free bonus. Okay. So Carrie asked, what's the new price? The price for the description webinar is $119. So you get the full description webinar. You get access to I believe it's 10 to 12 videos. Forgive me that I'm messing my computer right now. Okay. So it's a full training. And then, of course, for free, this is not included in the price, right? You get the free course training for All About Conversions. I called it All About Conversions. Okay. Now, after the 3 days, the price won't go up. That's fine, right? But you won't get the free bonuses. That's free bonuses are freaking awesome, you know? So Tiffany says, I just sold an old item and looked at the tags and I was horrified what they were. Like night and day after the SEO webinar. Yeah, I know, right? I think, like I said, I do a lot of shop critiques. I've seen people with old SEO, new SEO, old descriptions, new descriptions. When people take a webinar of mine, a lot of times they start to see the difference. They're like, wow, I didn't know how bad it was. And people that buy the course, any course from me, you know that they decided to believe. They're like, all right, I think it's going to help me. And when they actually do the work, they're like, yes, I could see it. A lot of times I hear from people from the description webinar that the biggest thing that they see a difference in is the help with writing that description, that paragraph that it's very hard to write. That makes their description sound enticing. And you know, I found that by doing a couple of shop critiques. I do include a formula. And I actually include a few bonus formulas for you to use if you're feeling kind of, courageous. But I also point out that how do I say this? If after you get used to it, and I think people could speak to this, I already have the webinar, you get so comfortable with the information that you learned about your product, the keywords, the features, the benefits, that you know how to put a different description even without using the features, even without using, the formula. So if you get comfortable enough, you can really change things up, but make it a fantastic description based on what I taught you. So it's almost like you use the formula as your training wheels. And like I said, I gave you a few of them so you could mix it up. And after a time when you don't need the training wheels anymore, you could absolutely do something yourself. And I've seen that before. I've also heard people tell me that they love how professional their photos look now, their descriptions look now. It's easier to skim, it's much more professional, etc. And that's part of converting a buyer because... Sorry, I need to get a tissue. My nose is itchy. I think it's allergies. Ugh. Hold on. Okay. So, they love the new look of the descriptions. They feel more confident in it, etc. Okay. Carol says, one of the hardest things sometimes is selling yourself. Absolutely. And that's what the first paragraph really does. And of course, there's more information you have to include. So you need to talk about the features, talk about this, talk about, how to buy, there's many things you have to include in there to really get the customer to make an informed decision so they know it's the right product for them. Guys, you have no idea how many times I've seen people in a shop critique that have, I'll say it, horrible descriptions. And I'll say it because I sell just like you guys. It's not like I'm judging you guys. You guys know that I sell just like you guys. I've gone through my issues as well, So, Rachel, so sorry, I just got here. When will the updated webinar be available? So if you want to purchase it new, it'll be available Monday to purchase it. If you have purchased it before, you'll be getting email Monday or Tuesday, and you will be able to sign up and then get access to the new updated version. I don't stress or worry about listing anymore. I have my format per category based on your description webinar, and I just follow it. Yes, I just have to plug in the specifics for each new product. Easy breezy. Exactly. And I include, like I said, a couple bonus worksheets in there. And one of them is, of course, the formulas, but also it's the done for you template. It's a DIY done for you template. So you literally just plug it in. And after a while, like I said, it's training wheels and it's absolutely fine. After a while, you don't have to use it. You know exactly what to do. Okay. And I'll tell you something. I've seen this before and I was very proud of this. People have bought my description webinar. I did shop critiques for them, and I've seen that they changed things slightly, and I'm happy with that because they made it their own. They followed what I told them to, and when they got comfortable with it, they started to change things slightly to make it their own. But it still works. The formatting is still there. They laid out the details like I told them to, etc. Oh, my bad. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm so bad at holding this phone. I'm so sorry. I'm not sure if you heard me, but I'll say it again. I've seen that people take what I've taught them and make it their own, which is amazing. But they still keep the fundamentals in there, such as the formatting, the basics that they need to know and get across to the customer. But depending on a few different things, they change it up to really make it fit them, which is really exciting to see because, like, again, they took my training wheels, which again, even if you take the training wheels, never take the training wheels off. I think you're absolutely fine. But if you do, I've seen some great things happen, that really just changes it up to make it your own, So let me take another sip. Okay, guys. So again, I want to remind you, the updated description webinar will be available for purchase on etsysellermastermind.com. Okay. And you'll see where to get it, and just when that time comes, it is will be available on Monday for $119, and for 3 days only, you'll be able to get it and then get the free bonus training. After that, the bonus training will not be available. Okay. So, is it possible to do bold lettering? Unfortunately, not. A few things I go over in the description webinar are different ways to format, because I know we can't do bold lettering. But there's other ways you could do it to attract attention. And I go over that in the webinar as well. Jennifer says, I have the old version, but do you address tags in the new version? I heard that there's a way to help views based on how your titles, description, and tags are placed. Not sure if there's a truth to this. So here's the thing, Jennifer, that when it comes to tags, that is, that's part of SEO. So it would be in the SEO webinar. It would not be in the description webinar. Description is just that. It is descriptions. It does not help you particularly get views, right? It helps you convert the views that you get. So it's different. Okay? So I hope that clears things up. Do we have access to the bonus training for a lifetime or 3 days? For a lifetime, girl. For a lifetime. Okay? But you could only purchase it during these 3 days. I don't know when I'll be giving that free bonus training again. Okay. So pretty much this is the time to get it. After the 3 days, you won't be able to get, you'll be able to get the description webinar, which is great. But then, how do I say this? You'll be able to get it, but then you can't get the bonus training. I don't know when I'm going to bring it out again. So during these 3 days, if you buy it, you get the free bonus training, which you'll get both lifetime access to. That and any of its updates. By the way, just because it's a bonus training doesn't mean it sucks. By the way, it's amazing. In fact, it's like a full training of mine. And it will go through upgrades. It has a full series of videos. It has worksheets when you need it, etc. Okay? I'm sure I missed it, but how to previous buyers to get the updated version. No problem. If you previously purchased it, you'll get an email Monday or Tuesday on instructions how to get access to it. No problem. Okay? So, of course, when that time comes, check your spam folders, check everything. It will go to your PayPal email, though. I don't want to hear I didn't get an email. Go to your PayPal email. I can't guess what your email is if you use a different email, right? It's your PayPal email, period. That's how I'm gonna get it. That's how I'm gonna get it, period. So, the best thing to do is after Tuesday, if you have not received anything, it's more than likely in your spam folder. More than likely. Or others or whatever. So make sure you don't miss it. And it's not a big deal. If you miss it, then you find it later. It's not a big deal. You could find that email a month from now and still get access to it. No biggie. No biggie. So but I will put very clear instructions in there. Guys, you must follow instructions because I'm doing a million different things. And migrating everybody back to that, to the new platform is very time consuming for all of us. And I want to make sure people follow certain instructions so it could be smooth. Because if you don't follow instructions, it will delay you getting the access to the webinar. Just being real, okay? So, anyway, like I said, I wish I had an assistant to work with because I'm locked up. But I worked extra hours yesterday. I've worked extra hours for the past few days, and that's absolutely fine. But just need your help a little bit. Just follow instructions from me, please. All right. So guys, I'm gonna let you guys go. My husband just called me. No idea why. Does he not know I'm scoping? Does he not know I'm doing a Facebook Live? He knows, but he still interrupts, you know? So what if my PayPal email has changed? It doesn't matter if your PayPal email has changed. Okay. But if you don't use that email address anymore, let's say you shut down your email account, okay, then that's a problem. But I don't care if you use a different PayPal email. If you still have access to that email, let's just say your email is abc123@gmail.com. Okay. I'm going to send an email to you there, the PayPal email address. If you use a different email now for PayPal, that's not a big deal. I'm just sending it to you there for instructions. Okay. I know, Becca. Sometimes I'm so excited to get access or whatever it is. I'm just trying to be very clear because I don't want to delay your process in getting access to it, and which will complicate my end, you know? Because what will happen is if you complicate it and you don't follow instructions, you know, you won't hear back from me for a couple of days because I'm so backed up, and then you're like still waiting, and I don't want any of that for you. So I want to make it very clear that you must follow instructions, and you know. Okay. So anyway, I'm gonna let you guys go. Okay. Get excited. If you've already purchased a webinar, very exciting for me to roll this out for you. This is the second time I've ever done an update for a webinar. The first time I've done one was the SEO webinar, which people that have purchased it got the free updates too. It'll be updated again in the new year, just FYI. So of course, if you purchase the SEO webinar, you'll get free upgrades, etc. And the same goes for the description. This is the second time this is the first time I am redoing it, which is very exciting. So this is the second version, 2.0. And it's super exciting. It's super exciting. And what's really exciting is I'm able to give this free bonus training for you during this limited time. Okay? So if you're interested in it, again, I will make the announcement. I'll send out emails, don't you worry, on Monday. Okay? I'll be reminding you tomorrow. I was going to do a pre-sale. People asked me for a pre-sale. I was like, I don't want to manage the pre-sale right now. Okay? So unfortunately, there's no way to purchase it before Monday. You know, which I think is fine, you know, but people just want to get in very quickly. I appreciate that, but I'm fixing a few things on the back end, and I want to make sure it's perfect before you guys get in there, right? So no pre-selling allowed, you know, and I want to make sure that I track everybody to be able to get access when it comes to Monday morning. The best part is the second you purchase it on Monday, if you're a new purchaser, then you will get automatic instant access, okay? And of course, if you purchase it before, it'll take a little while, but you'll get access within the next few days after that, all right? So, guys, if you have any questions about it, go ahead and ask now before I let you guys go. Otherwise, I'll be back on tomorrow to talk more about conversions, okay? I'm gonna give you some tips about how to get your listings to convert better. And of course, it's all, you know, about the conversion webinar, the free bonus video I'm giving away with the description webinar, which is really exciting. And so lay some more knowledge on you, you know, and then we'll be ready for the launch party on Monday, which is very exciting. I'm super excited. I love the way that it's rebranded. I love that it's on a new platform, which makes it easier for people to sign on, that gets instant access. You know, people always get a webinar from me, and usually they get the access a few hours later or an hour later, and they're like, how do I get access? I'm like, hold tight. I'm just a person, and I'm literally generating access codes for each person and sending it. No more of that, you know. There will be some troubleshooting if I need to, but you'll be able to get your own access code immediately after you purchase, which is kind of awesome, right? So, all right, guys, I will catch you later, and wish me luck. I have so much to do today. I might take a short lunch as well, you know, until this week is over. All right, guys, I'll catch you later. Bye.